Imagine this. You're a poor orphan girl, living with a wicked stepmother who treats you like a slave. One day, she forces you to marry a blind beggar, just to punish you, just to ruin your life. But here's the twist, the man isn't blind. He's not poor. He's a billionaire in disguise. And what happens next will leave you shocked. This is the story of a girl named Chinello and a man named Damalola. And the lesson it holds is one you'll never forget. But before we begin, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you don't miss more powerful stories like this. Now, let's begin. The sun wasn't up yet, but Chinello was already awake. She was on her knees, scrubbing the floor with soapy water. The cloth she used to be her mother's wrapper. Now it was just a rag. Her knees hurt, her fingers were cracked, and her eyes were heavy with sleep. This was her life now. Ever since her parents died in a car accident when she was 13, she had lived with her stepmother, Mrs. Ifielma. At first, Mrs. Ifielma pretended to care. She said, "You'll live with me. I'll treat you like my daughter." But the moment the burial ended, her true colors showed. She dragged Chinello by the ear and said, "From now on, call me Ma. You'll cook. You'll clean. You'll do everything I say." And Chinello did. For years. Her stepsisters, Tonia and Beezy, wore fine clothes and stayed on their phones all day, while Chinello wore torn dresses and used cold water to bathe. That morning, she was stirring pap and frying old akara. Her stomach growled, but she didn't dare eat. Mrs. Ifielma came out in her wrapper and said, "So you're still staring at food like a statue? Should I beat you before you move?" Chinello quickly served her food. Then, something strange happened. Mrs. Ifielma smiled. "Eat fast and go clean up. You have a visitor today," she said. "A visitor?" Chinello asked. "A man. He wants a wife. I told him you're available." Chinello blinked. "He's not a prince," her stepmother laughed. "He's blind. And poor." Chinello froze. "He's looking for an obedient girl." "I told him I have one who's useless but quiet," Mrs. Ifielma said proudly. "Ma, please. I'm only 19. I want to go to school," Chinello pleaded. Mrs. Ifielma slapped her. "What school? Do you think I'll waste money on you when I have daughters of my own?" Tears rolled down Chinello's cheeks. "You will marry him tomorrow," Mrs. Ifielma said coldly. "Whether you like it or not." The next morning was cloudy and silent. Chinello sat on her bed, wearing her only good dress. The zipper was broken. The fabric was faded. She heard her name called. "He's here!" Mrs. Ifielma shouted. Chinello walked out slowly. The man stood tall. He wore clean clothes and dark glasses. He held a white cane. A man in a suit stood beside him. Mrs. Ifielma smiled widely. "Damalola, this is the girl I told you about." The man nodded and asked, "So this is Chinello?" "Yes, sir," she said quietly. "I'm not looking for beauty," he said calmly. "I just want someone who won't see my blindness as weakness." Mrs. Ifielma laughed. "She's perfect for that. She doesn't even have a life." Damalola turned toward Chinello. "Do you have any questions for me?" She looked up and asked softly. "Why me?" Mrs. Ifielma shoved her. "Don't ask stupid questions." "Please, Ma. Let me speak," Chinello said. She turned back to Damalola. "I don't know you. I'm not ready. I want to go to school. I don't want to be forced." There was silence. Mrs. Ifielma slapped her again. "You will marry him. End of story." Damalola's assistant handed Mrs. Ifielma an envelope. Inside was money. Her face lit up. "We'll do the wedding tomorrow," she said. The ceremony was small and sad. No music. No cake. Just neighbors whispering. After the wedding, Damalola and Chinello entered a black car. She sat stiffly beside him. The car was clean and rich-looking. Leather seats. Big screen. Quiet ride. This wasn't what she expected from a poor man. "Where are we going?" she asked. "Home," he said. She looked out the window. The roads got cleaner. The houses got bigger. She saw mansions. Fountains. Big gates. Then they stopped at a tall black and gold gate with the initials DM. Her heart raced. They entered. The house was huge: pillars, chandeliers, spiral stairs, velvet couches. Servants opened the doors and greeted her. "Welcome, madam." She turned to Damalola. "Is this your house?" He smiled, removed his sunglasses, and said, "Yes. I'm not blind." Chinello gasped. "You can see?" "I can see everything," he said. "And yes, I'm rich. I own Damalola Enterprises." Why lie? I needed to know who could love me without knowing I'm rich. And you were real." Chinello cried. "I'm not special. I'm not polished." He held her hand gently. "I didn't want polished. I wanted someone true." 3 days later, back in the village, Mrs. Ifielma sat outside, bragging. "At least I've done my part," she said. "Let him suffer with her now." Suddenly, a black car parked at her gate. A man in a suit stepped out and handed her an envelope. "From Mr. and Mrs. Damalola," he said. Inside was an invitation. It read, "You are invited to a dinner at Damalola Estate. Hosted by Chief Damalola and his wife, Chinello Damalola." The invitation had a photo. It showed Chinello, dressed like a queen, beside her rich husband. Neighbors gathered. They whispered. They pointed. "She's rich? The man isn't blind?" Mrs. Ifielma's mouth dropped open. Her face turned pale. Her knees gave way. She bewitched him, she screamed. But no one believed her. She used to treat that girl like a slave. Look how God lifted her. A week later, Chinello returned. She wore a fine dress and held a small bag. Mrs. Ifielma opened the door, shocked. "You came?" "Yes," Chinello said calmly. "Did your husband send you?" "No. I came on my own." "To mock me?" "No. I came to forgive you." Mrs. Ifielma's eyes filled with tears. "I didn't know. I was angry and poor." "I know," Chinello said. "But I won't let hate rule my heart." She handed the bag to her. "Here. For your shop. And maybe to learn kindness." Then she walked away. That night, Chinello sat beside Damalola under the stars. "I still feel like I don't deserve this," she said. "You do," he replied. "Why me?" she asked again. "Because I saw your heart when you had nothing. And now, you'll have everything you deserve." Chinello smiled. She had been beaten, forgotten, and rejected. But now, she was free, loved, and seen. All because one man looked past her rags, and saw gold. Moral: in a world full of people chasing status and wealth, always be kind. Because you never know who's watching. And sometimes, the one you think is blind, sees everything.